Lucknow has always been home.
What do you relate Lucknow with?
Culture, a lot of it, and also the diversity. एक दूसरे के घर पे जाना, ईद में मिलना, ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप किसी को बुलावा दे, अपने आप जाना मिलना. आई थिंक ये सारी चीज़ें
गंगा जमुनी.
एग्जैक्टली. तो और कहीं नहीं है ये गंगा जमने तहजीब. तो पहले इतना कुछ नहीं होता था लखनऊ में. सो आई थिंक वी आर नॉट वेरी फास्ट बट वी आर नॉट वेरी स्लो आइदर. So we maintain that perfect balance, I think, which makes Lucknow a great place to live. I was studying in Lamartya. सर ने मुझे पहली बार मेरा टेनिस रैकेट पकड़ाया था.
Was this in Lucknow? Or?
Yes, this was in Lucknow, KD Singh Babu Stadium.
Welcome to another episode of Sada-e-Nau. और आज हमारे साथ हैं तारुका, my very close friend. बहुत टाइम से हम लोग साथ में हैं. Taruka represented India at the Asian Games in 2010. She's a former international tennis player, and right now she's working on the intersection of sports and media. She's leading her startup called the Playknox, which has been doing some phenomenal things, which I keep seeing and all of you must. Taruka, I'll just throw a random question towards you. सबसे पहले रैकेट किसने आपके हाथ में दिया?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me, Tasveer. I'll do the formal thanking, of course. सबसे पहले रैकेट मेरे टेनिस कोच ने, क्योंकि मुझे टेनिस क्या होता है पता ही नहीं था. आई थिंक क्लास 2 तक नहीं पता था टेनिस क्या होता है, क्योंकि हम पहले गोरखपुर में रहते थे. तो वहाँ पे मुझे 4-5 खेल पता थे. वो था क्रिकेट, कुश्ती, एथलेटिक्स, जिमनास्टिक्स, क्योंकि मेरी मम्मी जिमनास्टिक्स की कोच थी, और वॉलीबॉल. तो जब हम लखनऊ आए तो माई मॉम वाज वेरी ब्रूटल विद when she used to make me do gymnastics. बहुत stretching flexibility चाहिए. So I used to cry a lot. और gymnastic hall के सामने ही tennis court था. So one day I was crying a lot, howling, and my tennis coach just told my mother कि अपनी बेटी को इतना क्यों torture करना. And then he called me and then, do you want to play tennis? I was like, anything to escape my mom. So सर ने मुझे पहली बार मेरा टेनिस रैकेट पकड़ाया था.
Was this in Lucknow? Or?
Yes, this was in Lucknow, KD Singh Babu Stadium.
Tell us more about your this time of your life in Lucknow back then.
Of course, I was studying in Lamartya. Lamartya में पढ़ती थी मैं, और मेरे स्कूल अक्रॉस द स्टेडियम ही है, KD सिंह बाबू स्टेडियम के. और हम रहते भी स्टेडियम में थे, क्योंकि मेरी मम्मी को स्टेडियम का चार्ज मिला हुआ था एज अ कोच एंड अ डिस्ट्रिक्ट स्पोर्ट्स ऑफिसर. तो जितना मुझे याद है, माई लाइफ वॉज वेरी लिमिटेड टू दैट एरिया, क्योंकि सुबह उठ के स्टेडियम से सीधे स्कूल से वापस स्टेडियम, फिर वापस घर, जो कि स्टेडियम में था. सो आई हैव वेरी फॉन्ड मेमोरीज उस स्टेडियम की, उस हॉस्टल की, जहाँ पे मैं रहती थी. इनफैक्ट वहाँ से और भी काफ़ी अच्छे खिलाड़ी निकले. वंदना कटारिया, जिन्होंने मोर देन 100 कैप्स हैं जिनकी इंटरनेशनल हॉकी में, वो भी हॉस्टल में थी. प्रियंका गोस्वामी, जिन्होंने रेस वॉकिंग में रिकॉर्ड बनाया है भारत में और ओलंपियन है, वो भी उसी हॉस्टल से थे. तो दैट हॉस्टल हैज प्रोड्यूस सम ऑफ द वेरी गुड प्लेयर्स अक्रॉस स्पोर्ट्स. तो जो मेरा जितना मैं बड़ी हुई हूँ, वो मैं स्कूल और अपने स्टेडियम और अपने टेनिस दोस्तों के बीच में बड़ी हुई.
What does Lucknow smell and feel and sound like to you?
Lucknow has always been home. एक अपनापन, एक just आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग डे जब आप अपने घर पे आते हैं, वो मुझे फीलिंग आती थी. क्योंकि मैंने हमेशा से बहुत ट्रैवलिंग करी है. पहले मैं मम्मी के साथ ट्रैवल करती थी, क्योंकि मम्मी ट्रैवल करती थी टीम्स के साथ. फिर जब मैं 11-12 साल की हो गई, देन आई यूज्ड टू ट्रैवल ऑल अलोन अक्रॉस द कंट्री. एंड 12-13 साल में यू नॉट दैट कॉन्फिडेंस, यू डोंट वांट टू लीव योर हाउस ऐसे करके. तो मैं जब भी, अगर मैं दिल्ली भी जाती थी ना, मैं बहुत घर से रोके जाती. इनफैक्ट मैं तो जब स्टार्टिंग में स्कूल भी बहुत रोके जाती थी. तो यू कैन इमेजिन, आई वाज वेरी सेंसिटिव, आई वाज लाइक दिस होम पर्सन. एंड पर जब भी मैं जैसे बाहर, ऑफ कोर्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था, दैट वाज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑल्सो इन शेपिंग माई पर्सनैलिटी, मूविंग आउट ऑफ नॉट जस्ट माई हाउस बट माई सिटी and exploring other cities, meeting different people. I think that has made me the person I am today. That time of course you don't realize, क्योंकि आप नए शहरों में जा रहे हैं, बिल्कुल नए लोगों से मिल रहे हैं, जिनके बिल्कुल अलग थॉट्स हैं, जिन्हें कुछ सिमिलैरिटी भी इतनी नहीं है. तो जब भी मैं वापस आती थी ना कहीं से भी खेल के, एंड आई यूज्ड टू सी द सेम पीपल मेरे स्कूल में, सो आई यूज्ड टू फील लाइक वेरी वार्म एंड लाइक दीज आर माई पीपल. मैं हमेशा वो सोच के वापस आती.
So on your many journeys that you have done across the world. I keep seeing things. People relate to Lucknow with chicken nawab biryani. What do you relate Lucknow with?
Culture, a lot of it, and also the diversity. Because I would say, in fact, अगर आप अब देखोगे तस्वीर, across fields, we have so many entrepreneurs who've come up. And before also, I think the culture, the tehzeeb, of course, you know, which is also world famous. But our city is very different when you go to any city in the world. The kind of how everyone is so culturally intertwined with each other. You know, एक दूसरे के घर पे जाना, ईद में मिलना, ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप किसी को बुलावा दे, अपने आप जाना मिलना. आई थिंक ये सारी चीज़ें
गंगा जमुनी.
एग्जैक्टली. तो और कहीं नहीं है ये गंगा जमुनी तहजीब.
So on these said journeys, what do you miss the most about Lucknow?
अब मुझे लगता है बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा होता जा रहा है, एक्सपैंड होता जा रहा है. और लखनऊ, when you hear, you know, the news about Lucknow, well, there is culture, but बहुत पहले इतना कुछ नहीं होता था लखनऊ में. I'm not about culture, but you know, like I'm talking about different things happening, different people, this being like a hotspot for things. That's like there, but apart from it, I think बहुत सारी अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें हो रही हैं, बहुत diverse है. ऐसा नहीं है हम we are no lesser than any metro town, but with the correct pace. So I think we are not very fast, but we are not very slow either. So you know, we've maintained that perfect balance, I think, which makes Lucknow a great place to live.
Conversation a little bit towards your early career again. What do you remember about going to different countries, representing India?
I think it's always been an amazing journey. क्योंकि I think the first time I traveled out of my country was when I was 17 years old. हम यूरोप गए थे. And within 10 days, I was very homesick, I must say. But फिर भी I discovered so much. You know, I met so many people. मैंने अपना पहला ब्रॉन्ज मेडल भी जीता था वॉर्सो में. इनफैक्ट बहुत ही फनी स्टोरी थी क्योंकि हम बुडापेस्ट से वॉर्सो ट्रैवल कर रहे थे एंड आई डिडंट हैव अ डबल्स पार्टनर. तो द गर्ल हु वाज ट्रैवलिंग विद अस, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अदर एथलीट्स क्योंकि बैक टू बैक टूर्नामेंट्स थे, तो सेम ट्रेन एंड यू नो सेम वे. तो हम ट्रेन में बैठ के बातें करते. शी इज फ्रॉम थाईलैंड एंड मेरे पास भी पार्टनर नहीं थी, उसके पास भी पार्टनर. देन वी डिसाइडेड विल पार्टनर विद ईच अदर एंड देन वी वन द ब्रॉन्ज. So that was, you know, that sort of taught me that you should always be brave when, you know, you're out. You should be meeting people. You should be talking, getting to know different cultures. And I think that's what really helped me and to move forward also.
All of these little experiences make up.
Yes.
Like the
बहुत
entirety
ज़रूरी
of
है. Exactly. You know, even though, of course, I was a scared kid. मैं बहुत confident. जैसे काफ़ी बच्चों में होता है ना कि they want to go out and explore. मुझ में ऐसा था नहीं. It developed over time once I started, you know, letting go of that fear and embrace the unknown.
Would you say now you like doing that innately, or is it still a struggle to like do more and put yourself out there?
No, I travel solo everywhere now. मैं कश्मीर से लेके टर्की से लेके मैं यूके में 3 साल रही हूँ, सिंगापुर, चाइना, हर जगह मैंने अकेले ट्रैवल किया है, थाईलैंड. तो अब मुझे लगता है कि अब मैं सिर्फ अकेली ट्रैवल, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू, क्योंकि सबके अपने टाइमिंग भी होते हैं ना. तो आई एम नॉट दैट पर्सन. इफ आई वांट टू गो समवेयर, आई बुक अ फ्लाइट एंड गो. मैं आई एम नॉट डिपेंडेंट किसी पे. ऑफ कोर्स यू नो इट्स ऑलवेज ग्रेट टू हैव फ्रेंड्स इफ अगर कोई साथ में चल रहा है, बट अगर कोई नहीं भी चल रहा है तो आई वुड ऑलवेज मतलब आई वुडंट मिस आउट ऑन एक्सपीरियंसिंग थिंग्स.
Pack your bags and go.
एब्सोल्युटली.
You said UK, which also reminds me you were on the Great Scholarship.
Yes, that's correct.
How was that experience about?
So it was very good. In fact, you know, I'll tell you serendipity part. I always wanted to go and study abroad, of course, and that time I was very confused with what I really want to do. You know, जब आप college से pass out हुए, I knew कि sports में ही कुछ करना है, but I wasn't able to pinpoint. So इसी दौरान मैंने internship करी थी with सुभाष का as an assistant writer, director, जो भी actually वो बोले वो करना. And because I was a major in political science student, I was picked up by Mr. Milind Deora, who was then the Union Minister of IT, for his campaign. Unfortunately, sir had lost that election, but I got to learn a lot. But फिर भी I wasn't very sure if this is what I see myself doing, because there is no connection with sports, right? Then, thankfully, one of my friend was starting a startup then called Sportskeeda, and उसने बोले मुझे reach out किया, उसने बोला why don't you take interviews, and that came very naturally to me.
I've seen at least 100 of your interviews
Yes.
on sports.
Yes.
You should talk more about your writing experiences for
So-
different platforms.
Absolutely. So because thankfully I've had great education, La Martiniere, St Xavier's, and then Sheffield, Hallam. So I think that really helped me, and the fact that I could talk very easily to athletes. And the athletes were really comfortable talking to me, probably because I've been a former athlete myself. So I asked them good questions, relevant questions, not clickbait questions. But of course, when the things were hard, I also got their perspective rather than just giving my views or opinion. I've done course writing for some of the biggest stars, globally, and I still continue to write. और मुझे अच्छा लगता है लिखना because I think, but I am always that person who likes to encourage like good sports writing, in the sense like I like to weigh in both the pros and the cons of things. And then I pivoted towards business of sports, which very few women are into. And I've worked with, I've written for Forbes, I've written for World Economic Forum, I write for ABC Australia, I was selected for the Women in News and Sports program. And I am a contributor at Stanford University Sports Equity Lab. So I think all these things are very important for me to learn and then figure out a path for myself.
What about Manchester United? Is it red?
Of course. Manchester United was amazing. I'll tell you a story. When I moved from Gorakhpur to Lucknow, and one of my very dear, elder person, Ali Bhai, he used to play very good cricket. He played Ranji, he was part of the winning
He's also
team.
a coach of some.
No, Ali Bhai, Zaneen man's son.
Sorry.
Okay. So his mom and my mom were colleagues. So I remember, I was 14 years old when Ali Bhai was like, we are going to watch Manchester United match and you want to come over, you kids can come and this. So I was like, what is Manchester United? I didn't know much about football then. So like, what is this? And then I went back. उस वक्त तो नेट अगर नहीं था, आज तो फिर उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि it's one of the biggest club in the world. I was like, wow. And not in a condescending manner, of course, just to explain me कि Manchester, because I didn't know it. And then when I was 24, I worked with the club in Manchester. And how I got that was, during a work experience period, I was very confident that I'll get something in Sheffield itself, because Sheffield United, it's the oldest football club in the world. And then there's Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday media manager was a professor. So I was like, my resume is great. I've already done so much writing before. I'm a former athlete. I will get it. And Sheffield United was literally like, if I opened my window, I could see the stadium. So I was like very sorted in my head. And then I got rejection from both. And I was like, what? But good thing is, I had sent my internship application to all the clubs. Like, it was cold emailing, okay? And then Manchester United managing director got back to me, who, by the way, if you go and ask in the club or globally to anyone, he's a ghost. Not many people have met Richard Arnold. He was the CEO of the club till he stepped down after like 10 years. He said, why don't you speak with Andrew Diggle? Andrew is now head of media, digital media for Formula 1, but then he was leading the media for Manchester United. So it's like, wow. And then I emailed Andrew and he put me on to Julie, and they said, please come over and, we'll give you work experience and internship. And like when there are things, not like we just don't want to have you over from Sheffield to Manchester and do nothing. So I worked with the MUTV team and it was really great. On my very first day, I was taken to interview the players, and I interviewed Wayne Rooney. And the first player, and because it's a diverse team, players from all over the world were there. When I was interviewing Wayne Rooney, he has a very distinct accent. And I was trying to hear him and I could not make out. So I really was going to cry. Then I got back to the office. And then I was like, the first day I'm like, I can't understand accent, what's wrong with me? Then everyone was like laughing, like, do you know what? We are Brits and we also don't understand accent. So it's really cool. So yeah, and that interview got published on the Manchester United website and I was like over the moon, and everyone was so good, the entire the team, and they're like looking, oh, this new kid has come who's like interning. Everyone was so nice and warm towards me. It was a great experience.
Do you keep a count? How many articles you...
No,
No?
not possible.
But give or take number?
I don't know, a lot of it. 300 up for sure, I think.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, for sure.
So you have also worked at, recently in your career, you have worked a lot in policy making, sports policies with different departments, different administrations. Do you want to like throw some light on
Absolutely.
how the policies are,
Yeah.
how is sports seen by the policymakers?
Absolutely. So, I think a great pivot happened in my life in 2018, Hockey World Cup, because I was leading the comms communications for the entire Odisha Hockey World Cup while being based out of Odisha, Bhubaneswar, and I had a wonderful bosses, Mr. Vishal Dev and Mr. Vinil Krishna. Both are bureaucrats, IS officers, and absolutely brilliant officers. You know, the kind, I think, growing up, of course, I was too much in sports to know about bureaucracy, etc., whatever, even though my mom worked in the government. And I was very sure, and that time, the day I joined, it was a dilapidated building where the sports department was, and I just landed from Manchester to Bhubaneswar, so you could imagine. And I told my mom, I might not be able to stay because I'd not met my bosses till that time. They were in Australia for Commonwealth Games. So I told my mom, don't send anything. I'll come back home because I don't think I can work in this place. This looks not the kind for me to work at. And so my mom said, okay, just have, like, wait for some time, keep patience. And then the next week, like, everyone told me to meet the bosses and then go, because like, be respectful, like, because they'd already assigned me a role. So I waited for them. And I think the first day when Vishal sir and Vinil sir presided over the meeting, I was like, what brilliant individuals. And I think they're one of the best officers in the country, hands down. And then, they taught me, because government working is very different than how a corporate or how a Manchester United work, right? And I've always been like very outgoing, the people I communicate with are very different from the bureaucracy people. So they taught me everything. They were so patient with me, and I really picked up that. I really started loving my job. And then I was OSD Odisha Tourism, where we combined both sports and tourism, because both were important aspects when the Odisha Hockey World Cup was happening. So I stayed there, worked with them for good years, 3-4 years, and then I had another wonderful boss, which was Mr. Naveen Sehgal. I worked with him, and we worked in different departments, but towards the end of Sir's retirement, we got sports department, and I was able to assist Sir with some of the brilliant things, because I mean, with Navneet Sir, like, he's a one-man army. So any knowledge, anything which I had, like we shared, and it was great experience. Like, it just upgraded me so much as a person, or like my skill sets. So it gave me like a perfect, army of things I could do, basically.
That's some experience you've got at different places, different. Historically, sports has always been a male-dominated field. What do you have to say about it? And like, it is, I'm not denying that. And do you want to share any of your struggles? How did you navigate the space? How was it for you?
See, definitely it is.
As a young girl navigating your...
Yeah. Of course, it's very tough, especially, when you're young, because my mom always wanted me to be this fearless person, because she handled so many other sports kids as well, the entire gymnastics team, others. I have learned a lot, in the sense, when women as girls are playing sports, kali ho jaoge, you become so dark, and you don't come, like, you're missing out so much on your life because you're always playing tennis. And at that time, when you're in the process, you've not reached your goal, you do doubt yourself a bit, ki, why am I putting in so much work? Sometimes, not always, of course, when you hear negative, and when I was a kid, of course. 14, 15 is an impressionable age.
Right.
But thankfully, my mom's always kept me like very single-eyed focused person. Like she said, she's a single mother as well. So I've seen the hardships she has gone through. So I have always known that I need to be very responsible. I need to be very good at what I do. And I really don't let go of these things, because no matter what is going on in my life, I will always come across as a responsible and accountable person.
Working on the intersection of sports and media and tourism to an extent.
Absolutely brilliant. And everything has sort of come together to help me do this. For example, I'll tell you about, there is this cricket player called Prashant Veer. In 2024, I met him while working with the team, and he did not have bad sponsorship. And he's a good player, fairly good kid. He's 20-year-old now, so he's 18 then. So he asked me, ma'am, do you know, like I asked him in fact, that you don't have sponsorship. He said, no, and bats are, very expensive. One good bat is like 15,000 rupees. So I was like, okay, then thankfully I knew the SS owner. SS is a, premier bat company. And I told sir that, sir, look, these kids are doing amazing, and why don't you sponsor him? And he thankfully responded back that, why not? Why don't you send me his resume? And I got onto Canva and put all his details, asked him what am I missing, and we made this profile and said, and we gave him 2 years sponsorship. And in 2025 December, he was picked up by Chennai Super Kings for 14.2 CR, which I think is brilliant.
It is.
And the journey and to be able to, part of his such a great journey was amazing. And then we also got another sponsorship for another athlete. His name is Kartik. He's currently at the National Cricket Academy camp in Bengaluru. He's the only top 50 bowlers are selected from across the country, and he was top 50, 25 bowlers, 25 batsmen. So he's one of those bowlers who's been selected. So he's doing really well. He was also net bowler for Delhi Capitals and was called by Chennai Super Kings. But of course, he had to go to the army. So I think it's so great, right, that I get this opportunity to also help people who are where I was at that age. And at that age, honestly, we didn't have much support. Nobody sponsored us or in fact looked out for us. Thankfully, now the landscape has really, really accelerated, and there are more players to help kids. Yeah.
Was there a certain point in your life where you realized that you want to put this other athletes' story out there?
Definitely, all the time, because because I've grown up in the hostel now. So मैंने देखा है कि so many kids need this story to be out there for people to know कि कैसे कर रहे हैं, कितनी मुश्किलों से चीजें कर रहे हैं. And all, आप किसी भी खिलाड़ी से बात करोगे, everyone has gone through huge ups and downs in their lives. Kabhi koi injury, setbacks. Athletes suffer setbacks on a daily basis, and they know how to overcome that. और मुझे लगता है this is the story worth telling to every person, especially now. And I think in a personal capacity also, that resilience I've built has really helped me navigate through my life when there are problems in my life. So I've always wanted to help as much as I can the younger kids.
What would a sports map of Lucknow look like to you?
Very good actually. Now हम बहुत सारी चीजें कर रहे हैं लखनऊ में. KD Singh has upgraded the stadium where I used to play. There is this entire skating rink which has been developed by LTA in Lohia Park. There are multiple tennis courts which Khand में है. Then Ikana has come up. Great facilities. And horse riding है race course में. तो हर तरीके के स्पोर्ट्स अब आप कर सकते हैं. टेबल टेनिस एटसेट्रा सब पहले से था. Yeah. So I think it's pretty great.
All both old and new things are happening.
Yes. And ज़रूरी भी है because I think काफी overdose हो गए digital, overdose of digital platforms and digital things. Everyone wants to get out and play. Pickleball कितना ज़्यादा popular हो गया है. We have one paddle court also, racket club में. तो काफी अच्छी चीजें हो रही है.
So if any of your friends from say Manchester comes to Lucknow, what would be the places you take them?
Actually, I had a friend recently who you met, Deborah from France. तो मैं उनको सबसे पहले तो the festivals, I think she came in the February last, so she missed out on the MSLF, which is one of my favorite festivals. The other places I like to take out is for authentic non-vegetarian food is Nehmat Khana for sure, because the mutton is next level good. And I'm saying it because everyone loves it. And it's the perfect spice mix. So, and you know, when my friends come from abroad, the spice tolerance is not way too much. And then I take them to my favorite cafes, of course. So there are a few of them. There's Sidewalk, there's Chihiro, there's Bars, there's Roastery, Chakoko. So many good, cute places have opened up. So it's always good to hang out with my friends there. And then apart from that, good museums. We went to, you know, Lucknow Zoo, the State Museum, which was very good. And new museums have opened up elsewhere also in the city. So these are the good things. Galleries, the Kokoro Art Gallery, which is curated by Vandana ma'am. I think that's very good, especially because most of my friends, you know, even if their sports are interested in art and culture, they get like a 360-degree view. And then I know some amazing people who just invite us to their homes and feed us. So yeah.
Do you want to say anything to a young girl athlete in Old Lucknow?
Absolutely. कहीं से भी हो, कोई भी young athlete हो, just don't put boundaries on your dream. If you want to go and play at the Olympics, you can play at the Olympics. तो कभी अपने दिमाग में ना आप वो मत रखिए कि because I'm from somewhere, I cannot go somewhere, I cannot be somewhere. I think that's a mistake a lot of people do. उनको लगता है, and don't look at कि क्या नहीं है हमारे पास. You can always get there. You know, you have to manifest. Imagine 14-year-old me who didn't know what Manchester United was invited by the managing director of the club, who, you know, who is like a ghost for most people. I'm talking about even the execs. He doesn't need, he's signed some of the most expensive deals in the history of sports for Manchester United. So I think you have to just believe in yourself. And I've always had this belief. I just need to make up my mind what I want to do, where I want to go, what I want to achieve, and I'll definitely do it.
Tell us more about Playknox.
Yes, so the Playknox is, yes, the marketing and media agency which I opened up is because बहुत ज़्यादा sports business लोग cover नहीं कर रहे थे. So I wanted to put myself out there, and I'm glad it's doing well. Slowly we pivoted towards athlete sponsorship. So that is where I had Prashant and I have Karthik. And we do a lot of events, like for example, we're digital promotion partners for the LDA run, which is happening on the 3rd of May. And then apart from that, we work with MotoGP. We've created reports with University of Portsmouth. MotoGP पे हमने report create किया था, the impact of it, the economic impact of it. So ऐसे we facilitated an influencer trip to Formula 1 in Abu Dhabi. So I like the work I'm doing, but I was just in the phase of aligning things, and we'll do really good things in future as well.
So what does a future look like?
The future is to work more in sports, to have the capability of getting more athletes on board. You know, that is one of my things. And also at the same time, I want to work how I am working currently at Stanford University Sports Equity Lab, whereas be more vocal about women in sports, spotlight their problems and help others get on board to resolve those issues which are there. So that's one of my main aims.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that in so much detail. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.